What's up, babies? Miranda here. Welcome to my channel where we talk about everything wellness and pleasure. I am somatic sex therapist and your wellness coach, here to help you improve your relationship with self and with your partner. Today, we are gonna be doing our video a little bit different. A couple weeks ago, I gave you guys the opportunity to ask me any sex question that you could possibly think of, absolutely anonymous. For those of you that missed this opportunity, you can ask me your questions down below or follow me on Instagram for the next time that I do it, because trust me, I am definitely gonna be doing this again. Anyways, I know what you guys really came here for, so let's get started. Okay, let's start with this one. Is it weird that I like the smell of used panties? Absolutely not. There is a reason why there is a whole community of people on the internet trying to buy used underwear. Now, a lot of the time it's not just wanting somebody's used underwear, but it's usually a specific person, or you want to know how they smell, or like your partner, you might be infatuated with the way that they smell, which is a good thing, which kind of goes back to like our primal in nature. We are searching for our partner through pheromones in our natural smell. Like, one of my favorite things about my partner is not the cologne that he wears necessarily, but the way that his oils on his skin smells, and his natural BO, to be honest. The same thing kind of applies to used underwear. I feel confident in saying that this is 100% normal. I feel like a lot of people make jokes about it, but sweetie, let's be serious. A lot of the time we are making jokes about something that rings slightly true to us. So no, baby, it's not weird at all. And let's say it is weird to some of you that are watching. You do not yuck somebody else's yum. If it's not for you, baby, don't worry about it. It doesn't affect you. Okay, moving on to the next question. Is it okay to have a sugar daddy while having a boyfriend? So to be honest with you, a question like that is something that is 100% completely subjective to you and to your partner. The biggest thing is that you guys have communicated to each other about this, not somebody keeping it in the dark or pushing it underneath the rug, hoping that their partner does not find out. This is something you want to be clear and open about, because if this is a non-negotiable for you, meaning your sugar daddy must be in your life at all times, this might be a really good time for your partner to exit the relationship because it is not congruent with what they want in a relationship. So honestly, at the end of the day, I can't sit here and say it is right or wrong, because I am not you and I am not your partner. To me, I am feeling a little bit of guilt coming from this question, which is an indicator that you probably have not told your partner, and you most likely are doing this behind their back, or maybe hiding aspects or pieces of what is included in being a sugar baby for your daddy. But honestly, at the end of the day, the best thing to do is communicate openly to your partner. Maybe you don't even need this sugar daddy because your partner is going to be able to provide for you in the way that you need. Or maybe your partner's 100% fine with you having a sugar daddy. Either way, I do think it's not fair to leave somebody in the dark like that. But like I said, to each their own. Okay, next question. I'm gonna reword it because I feel that this person does not speak English, or English is not their first language. So how does it feel to have an orgasm coming from a girl's experience? So honestly, people say that it is electric, there's fireworks, your body is shaking, it's trembling, it's earth-shattering, freaking amazing. This can be true, but like a man's orgasm, your orgasm can shift in waves. Sometimes you catch your nut and it's just a nut. It's like a quick release. And sometimes that built up orgasm with all that tension and all that energy is literally like an explosion. But I don't like it when people say it is this massive thing, because the truth is it's not like that all the time. I think the best way to describe it is an energetic release, whether it be mild or whether it be extreme. If you're somebody who is pre-orgasmic, meaning they have never had an orgasm before, or you just want to learn your body a little bit more but don't really know where to start, I'm gonna hook you guys up with Beducated. They are a sex education platform literally designed for everybody, whether you're single or in a relationship or looking to explore, whether it be kink or self-pleasure, they have over 100 different courses that are for you. My favorite thing about Beducated is that they do something that I am not able to do on this platform here, which is give you visual demonstrations and practical tools to help you guys in the bedroom tonight. Because like myself, I'm sure a lot of you are visual learners too, because it really truly does help to see somebody else's anatomy and how to perform or how to properly do techniques, especially when you are first starting out or when you just need validation or confirmation that you are doing the right thing or even doing things safely, especially when it comes to kink, because to be honest, the adult industry does not do a good job on sex education because that is not their job. Their job is to entertain. So if you're looking for the best sex education gifted to you by the world's top sexperts, then Beducated is definitely meant for you. I'm gonna give you guys 24 hours of access free into their website so you can cruise through over 100 different courses. Like I said, literally on everything from self-pleasure all the way to kink. They are very, very, very in-depth and there is so much to learn. And honestly, I think the best thing about exploring your pleasure is that you find different things that you're interested in that you might have never even imagined. I know Beducated has definitely done that for me. And if you fall in love with Beducated, they're also offering their end of summer deal, which is 50% off the whole year. All you guys have to do is click that link down below and use the code PLEASUREBABY. Trust me, you guys, you literally have nothing to lose. There's a 14-day guarantee or money back. There is no roof to pleasure. Explore, get adventurous, get curious with it. Map out your body and learn how to get the best orgasm ever so that you can teach yourself and then you can teach your partner. So that way your pleasure is never left on the back burner. Now let's move in to our next question. I can't tell if it's my dyslexia kicking in right now or if these questions are actually just written so poorly. How can you tell there is chemistry between the two of you? Can chemistry be there even from the first time? Sexually or emotionally? We're gonna assume that you are speaking sexually. Yes, sexual chemistry can be there right out of the gates and you guys can have really good flow and good connection. However, that is not always the case. And I do wanna say more often than not, it is something that is built. So yeah, your first time having sex with somebody, it might be mid. And that's fine. I usually say go back 2 to 3 times and then make your call after that. Because if they're not putting the effort in to get to know your body or you're not feeling that energetic connection, then chances are it's just not meant for you. Now, me being 29 now and have lived through multiple different types of experiences, I do believe a lot in energy. So if you are speaking of chemistry like energy and you are not feeling that energetic connection, what are you doing? It's not really worth it. Honestly, sometimes people are just better off being friends and you can work on your chemistry. Like if you fell in love with that person, but you're just not kind of communicating physically together, you guys can work on that together and become the best lovers for each other. But if you're not putting in that effort or they're not putting in that effort and you guys aren't working together, then you might just need to write off the relationship. With that being said, sex isn't everything. And for some people, it's actually one of the last priorities on the list because they both don't really have high sex drives. But I would say for a lot of us, we do want to feel that chemistry. But how can you tell if that chemistry is actually there? How you feel around that person. Does that person make you feel safe? Do they make you feel seen? Do they listen to you? Do they care about you? Do they show up for you? How do they hold space for you? How do you guys vibe together? Is it an effort or does it come easy and naturally? How do you feel when you leave them? Do you feel drained and exhausted and like you need to go home and go to bed? Or do you feel energized and electric? That is everything. How you feel when you leave somebody is honestly enough said. If they constantly leave you feeling drained, then no. I hope that answers your question. Okay, next question. However, this one is worded really strange too, so I'm just gonna reword it. My partner and I have been married for 10 years and have a great relationship. Recently, we both became enthused by the idea of having a threesome. How do we find a man or a woman in this scenario so that they don't feel used but feel really good? First things first, this is a really good indicator that both you and your partner want to have a threesome. You're not trying to convince your partner that you want to have one because that's what I see all the time. The second one is that you're your relationship is in a good place. I hope to God that your communication is amazing, and then you guys have discussed boundaries, non-negotiables, things that you're down with, things that you're not down with. And now we're at the point of how do we find somebody to fill this position? So there's a few other questions that I have for you. However, we're gonna keep it to how you find said man or said woman. So you can actually put it out there on a dating app such as like Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, you know, looking for a third. If you are looking for a woman, those are called unicorns. They're called unicorns for a reason because they are hella hard to find. Make sure that you are saying in your bio that you are looking for fun and a good time, not actually to bring a third person into the relationship, but just into the bedroom. There's also an app that you guys can download and use called Field. This is an app that is used for the curious couples out there. So you're most likely gonna be finding those like-minded people out there that are looking or interested in the exact same things that you're interested in too. You can also use FetLife because they have a whole bunch of things in the community that might intrigue you. Maybe you guys wanna go to a sex party or a swinger party. There's so many different options for you to go to help find yourself some like-minded people. But like I said, it's really important to make sure that both of you are on the exact same page. Remember, this is another amazing time for a learning opportunity, meaning there are gonna be mistakes that happen. There's gonna be boundaries that might be crossed, but the truth is we wanna try to reduce those issues from happening. So I'm not saying that it's gonna be perfect and that you won't ever have these things, because honestly, it is challenging. Sometimes there's jealousy that comes up. Sometimes there's a word that is said or a lack of attention that is being given, and those are there to have conversations later on. Just make sure that you guys are having the same expectations and the same understanding of the situation. Okay, this is a dating question. What is the best way to approach a hot woman in person and on a dating app? Okay, well, listen here. You are going to miss your shot 100% of the time if you do not take it. A lot of the time we see somebody at the grocery store or the gym or like a one-off on the street or something, and if you are drawn to that person and you miss that opportunity, you might never see them ever again. The first thing that you have to understand is that you need to be okay with being rejected, because rejection is something that our generation really truly struggles with. Like, why the hell is there a thank you for participation little flag, award, or whatever you want to call it? Like, I'm sorry, yeah, thanks for coming out, but no, that is exactly why we have one of the softest generations. It is normal to be rejected, but how are you gonna know where they stand if you don't ever try? Hey, my name's blah blah blah, what's your name? You look really beautiful today. I couldn't let you walk by without grabbing your number or talking to you. I think the most important thing is to just be yourself, be confident, and don't be weird and creepy. Don't say something like, you look so sexy, or I love your top. Be authentic with it, but give them a compliment. And when it comes to dating apps, I feel like you need to have a different approach. Don't just compliment them on a picture. Don't just say, hey, what's up? You need to actually read their bio, read their description of themselves, the things that they have chosen, and ask them questions about it, or maybe create some banter. Be also your authentic self. If you are a funny, witty person, poke fun at that person. Some women really, really love it, but I mean, also kind of tread lightly, like dial it back 20% from how you would actually approach it. Feel it out. A woman likes a man that can lead and knows what he wants. Remember that. This next question honestly kind of upsets me, but it is the reality of the world that we live in and how people just really don't know how to communicate with their partners and say things that they don't necessarily mean. So this person says, my husband says I'm boring in bed. How do you get your confidence back from that comment? Honestly, what I would say to him is right out of the gates, like, how do you expect that to make me feel when you say something like that? Ask them, like, what is their intent behind saying something like that? Because truly, that is something that is really hurtful. And when you ask them what their intent is, their response is going to be everything from there, because if they're trying to teach you or tell you something, there is definitely more effective ways to communicate that over to you. Also, do you think you're boring in bed? Do you honestly think his words are true? Like, rewind, back it up to before he said this awful comment to you. Because maybe you do think you're boring, and maybe you want to explore a little bit more, and maybe exploring a little bit more will help you become more confident. But gaining your confidence back from a comment like that does take time, but we need to figure out what pain point that hits you in, and that's something that we could probably do, or we could definitely do in one-on-one coaching, because a question like this goes much, much deeper. Because he knocked your confidence down with one comment, chances are you were a little bit low to begin with. But stepping back into your confidence is definitely something that I feel 100% capable of helping you get back to. This next one I absolutely love. I have had 2 relationships where it's just been normal sex, but I know I love fetish. How do I go about introducing it? What do you think, guys? I think we should communicate about it. Hey baby, I really want to try out fishnets or crotchless underwear. Maybe I've been thinking I kind of want to try sucking on your toes. How do you feel about that? That would really turn me on. I think that this can be really scary and nerve-wracking at first, but a lot of the time when you approach the situation with like an open mind and a non-judgmental space, it can go really well. Or even just introducing the fact that this is something that might excite you or might turn you on to your partner, it can give them time to sit on it and think about it and think, hey, do I actually, maybe I want this, or maybe I could do this with my partner, or try it. Sometimes it's just initiating the conversation and just planting the seed and waiting for it to flower and blossom. It is honestly about patience and just expressing what you're into with your partner and see if it lands and see if it doesn't. I have definitely suggested things where my partner has been like, absolutely no, and then a couple days or even months later, he's like, hey, remember that thing? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm kind of down and I'm ready to try it. And honestly, your partner blows your mind like all the time. The second that we think we can assume or we know what they're thinking is where your relationship stops growing, because I truly do not know what you are thinking. I'm just assuming. When you assume, what is it? You make an ass out of you and me? Like, don't assume, just talk to your partner. All right, guys, honestly, this is a long video and I have so many more of these questions. If you like this style of video, give it a thumbs up, drop your questions down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Head over to my Instagram, hit that follow button, because I will definitely be doing another one of these. And if you haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? Click that link down below, grab your free access and entry into Beducated, and yeah, get your 50% off the whole year. Don't forget to use the code PLEASUREBABY, and I will see you babies next week for another episode. Cheers!